Alright, welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at the LVO reveals. So first and foremost, we've got a new battle force. Before we jump in, this video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. LVO 2023 Strike Force Agastus makes planetfall with new Desolation Marines and Dreadnought. Primaris Space Marines are about to get heavy reinforcements with a new Dreadnought and a unit that packs the mightiest portable firepower we've yet seen. Alright, so let's take a look at the new video. So definitely exciting. Obviously, we know what the Desolation Squad's all about. We saw the little... Oh yeah, they look pretty good. Alright, so it looks like a big rocket launcher. At first, I thought it was a Gatling cannon underneath, but I think it's more rockets. Then we see a Primaris Lieutenant with some options, it looks like. And then we essentially see a hand-to-hand combat Redemptor Dreadnought. So overall, looks pretty good. Okay, and we can see there on that last picture, everything that's actually in the box set. Let's take a look here real quick. So it is the Dreadnought, 2 squads of 5 of the new heavies, the Lieutenant, and then 5 Heavy Intercessors. And then we see the Strike Force Agastus book as well, which will no doubt have the rules. Strike Force Agastus is a ceramite fist ready to pulverize whichever foes they've thrown against. This box set consists of 2 new heavily armed Space Marine kits that can be used by any chapter, rounded out with a new customizable Lieutenant and 5 Heavy Intercessors. So that is strange how they word it. 2 new kits. But really, it's like 2 new kits and one of them is duplicated, because if you scroll down, there's another 5 of these guys down here. So, all right. So honestly, I think everything looks pretty good. I mean, the guns are super large and definitely a little bit over the top, but they look cool. They appear to be some different variances of the same weapon. Yeah, see, this looks sort of like a little mini Gatling missile launcher down here. It sort of reminds me a little bit of the Adeptus Mechanicus thing, where it's like one gun but has a bunch of different profiles. I don't know anything about the actual rules, but like with that Adeptus Mechanicus gun, it gets to shoot all like its different profiles at the same time. I don't know if this is going to be like 2 or 3 different options. I would imagine, potentially something like a real powerful crack shot, a much less powerful volume frag shot, and then maybe something indirect fire. I'm not sure if they want to lean in heavy on indirect fire, to tell you the truth, because it's either overpowered or irrelevant in most cases. And at this point in time, it would be pure speculation. As far as the Dreadnought, I think it looks great. The claws look super cool. Double multi-melta is definitely nice. And then the double stubbers on top. Yeah, it definitely looks cool. Obviously built on a Redemptor Dreadnought chassis. And then, of course, some Heavy Intercessors. And then the new Lieutenant. With options, and I think that's the most important thing. Sure, do we need another Lieutenant? Probably not, but what we do need is a Lieutenant where you can buy it and have a bunch of options. The star of the show is the new Brutalis Dreadnought, armed with twin Icarus Iron Hail heavy stubbers, heavy bolter, and bolt rifles. It's a terror in melee, handing out unnecessarily firm handshakes with its Brutalis fist and claws. Okay, so it has the claws and the fist options. It looks like the claws, I'm not sure what the abilities are going to be or anything like that, but it doesn't look like the claw has any additional weapon right here. And on the fist, you have what amounts to like some kind of bolter action. So 2 on each, it looks like. So it looks like you have the fists, which are maybe a little worse in melee, but have a little extra shooting. Or you can just go all out with the melee weapons. But the truth is, the real power from this guy comes from the melee plus the multi-meltas, because you're going to be advancing him up the field, popping off multi-meltas. The closer you get, the better for the multi-meltas, and then also for you just punching stuff. I gotta say, I really like this. I think the kit looks cool. I think it gives you another way to run a Primaris Redemptor Dreadnought, which is cool because the Redemptors are already extra cool. It just gives you the ability to concentrate. I would think having the 2 fists or 2 claws in combat is going to be really good compared to just a regular Redemptor. And then on top of that, sure, you're giving up the macroplasma or like the onslaughts, but in exchange, you're getting 2 multi-meltas. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I really like it. I think the kit looks great, and I think you know, obviously it'll come down to the points, but I have a feeling that this guy is going to be making his way into a lot of lists. While the Dreadnought cannonballs into enemy lines, the Desolation Squad provides devastating support barrages with their indirect fire Castellan launchers and a choice of super frag or super crack rocket launchers. Until now, long-range heavy support has been missing from the Primaris infantry arsenal. Okay, awesome. So, indirect fire Castellan launchers, and then super frag and super crack. So, yeah, that's great. That sounds like exactly what you would expect. It kind of reminds me of the snipers a little bit, where they have like the 3 different types of rounds they can shoot. I like the idea of it. I like the diversity of it. The models are pretty cool overall. I think a lot of times when they're a little over the top, they take some time to grow on us, but I like it. All right, so we see the sergeant carrying some extra ammo. He's got an excessively large like targeter on the back. I'm guessing, and I could be completely wrong on this, but I'm guessing this is like the crack launcher, and it's like, you know, the one-shot type deal. And then this is a frag launcher, so it has like a few barrels. And then this is like an underslung Gatling launcher type missile. I guess maybe that could be the frag, or it could be the indirect. I'm not really sure, but it looks like there's basically like 3 different profile weapons. What I'm not sure about is, do you like get to pick 2? Because it looks like it always comes with the kind of underslung Gatling missiles. And then you're kind of picking between the single big use or the multiple smaller use. So let's take a look at some more guys here. So here again, we see the 4 and the underslung, the 4 and the underslung. Okay, so maybe, yeah, I'm really not sure. It's tough to tell because this looks like a different variant. It has 2 of the larger missiles as opposed to the sergeant, which has the 1 big one. So maybe there is a special profile for the sergeant's weapon. I like the diversity of it. I would prefer, honestly, rules-wise, if it's set up like the snipers, though, where you can, like, just pick every time you fire them, or like a regular missile launcher where you have, like, the frag or the crack, and you can just pick when you shoot it. But honestly, we'll see. I think it's good. Obviously, we needed some heavy support for them. A little indirect fire could be cool as well. I like the option to take these guys instead of something like a whirlwind. So, yeah, overall, I think they're nice. Honestly, I like them. You know, the gun's a little bit over the top. They're super big and chunky. But like when he's carrying it like this, it looks pretty good. Now, I would prefer to see this and his head facing the direction of the gun a little bit more like this. I really like that pose. This pose looks really good too. Yeah, I like them. I think they're great. I mean, if they can even replace a whirlwind relatively well, obviously they're not going to have like the strat ability or anything like that. But I like them. I think they look great. And now a quick message from this week's sponsor. This video is sponsored by CMOgames.com, where you can get 15% off most Games Workshop pre-orders, and they go live right at midnight Saturday mornings. CMOgames.com offers free shipping on orders over $25 in the US 48, and most orders ship within 24 hours. CMOgames.com has been selling Games Workshop products online for more than 20 years, and customer service is their top priority. CMOgames.com carries the full line of Games Workshop products, including 40k, Age of Sigmar, Kill Team, warcry, paints, hobbies, and tools. Visit CMOgames.com using the affiliate link in the description below so they know you heard about CMOgames.com from Warhammer Man Studios. Now, back to the video. Leading them is a new Primaris Lieutenant, the most flexible lieutenant kit we've made to date. This version unlocks a wide variety of build options, including the much requested Power Fist. So yeah, I think this is big. I mean, he's just a regular old lieutenant, little tactical rock. Obviously got like some cool little eccentric bits on him. You know, the bionic arm, the Power Fist with the plasma. Some different options here. The bolt rifle, the classic point. You know, a little power sword. Overall, I like it. I think he looks cool. There's clearly some options. You can change out like the tabard down here with like the little relic bits. Obviously, you can change out all the weapons. I think the most important thing is not like, oh, great, another Primaris Lieutenant. I think this is the best Primaris Lieutenant. We saw for a long time, Games Workshop showed us Primaris Captains, and they gave us a bunch of variants. And then finally, they just made one that had the ability to give all the equipment to. And I think this is what it is. This is like the one lieutenant to rule them all. Maybe not the coolest pose, but includes all the potential weapons to equip them with. I gotta say, very cool. I like the box overall. You know, if you don't like the models in it, or you're not going to field them because you don't like the look or don't like the rules, that's fine. It's just more options, in my opinion. Space Marines obviously have a ton of options. So if you didn't feel like you needed a Primaris Devastator equivalent, I think you just look the other way and it's like these guys never existed. If you didn't need a new Primaris lieutenant, maybe you already did a conversion or used some extra bits left over from your captain, I think you just look the other way. As far as the Dreadnought goes, that may be more difficult because if you look the other way, this dude's going to be in your back line. But honestly, man, I like this. This is by far my favorite of these Space Marine reveals. So yeah, I think this is a nice box set. I think it's going to sell well. It fills a gap that we really needed. A dedicated combat Dreadnought for Primaris is very cool. A dedicated heavy support unit for Primaris is very cool. And then now we have sort of like an all-encompassing lieutenant. The Heavy Intercessors are just kind of there, I think, just to fill out the box. I think they really could have just put anything in there. I don't think it would have made a difference if they went with Heavy Intercessors, Assault Intercessors, regular Intercessors. I mean, they're pretty much just like one of those kind of sneaks its way into every box. So yeah, I like this. I'm going to be picking it up. I do like the new models. It'll be a nice supplemental addition to some of my Space Marine armies. So let me know what you think down below. Are you excited for this? Are you overwhelmed? Are you underwhelmed? So we definitely knew that the Primaris Devastators were coming. I think the Dreadnought is a pleasant surprise. And I think the Lieutenant is sort of just like a little cherry on top. Most people probably don't need him, but the ability to pick up a generic Lieutenant that has everything you need and then a bunch of extra bits, I think is nice. So overall, yeah, I think this is a great box. Definitely looking forward to it. And honestly, I'm excited to see that battle forces are back. I have a feeling Games Workshop is pivoting towards the selling big boxes. In the past, we've seen them complain about, the shipping costs or packaging costs. So when they sell big boxes like this and they give us roughly like 30% discount on it, I think everybody wins. So definitely happy to see this. Let me know what you think. What's your favorite of these reveals? You're going to be picking this up. Special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the video. Check them out to save 15%. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios, and I'll be back with more. And I'm out of here.